Hello friends, I am Srija from Web Mobiles. My friend Yuga is with me today to share her experiences as a business analyst. She worked with Fortune 500 companies in USA in very different challenging roles for last 11 years. Let's start. Hey Yuga, welcome to Web Mobiles. Thank you for accepting our invite.
My pleasure, Shrija. Thank you for calling.
Hey Yuga, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm working for Capgemini as a business analyst, and I'm working on property and casualty insurance. So that's my domain. Per se, I have like 11 years of experience for this on this domain, like property and casualty insurance, like home, auto, all this kind of insurance of US market. So I'm like my role has been like a business analyst, so more of working with the client. So I have got to work with good clients of PNC Insurance. So that's how my profile is.
Oh, okay. What do you do on daily basis? Do you need any coding skills?
Um, Actually, coding skills, the answer is like no, we don't need any coding skills. Um, for daily basis, I interact very much with the client. So we have this requirement sessions. So basically, we call it a brainstorming session, or in agile framework, we call it like rapid development workshops. So we have this brainstorming or workshop session, which we closely work with the client and their domain experts. So clients and their people who knows the business very well will work with them, will understand what they want. They will not tell us in the technical terms, but they will tell in their own business terms, like they will tell in their own language.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the role of a business analyst is understand their language and to interpret with our product or our solution and pass it to the developers or the
Okay.
QA team. And similarly, there is some limitations that we have, like we cannot give them the entire thing what they want in the same manner, but we will have to bridge the gap. So as a business analyst, the main role or the responsibilities is to bridge this gap between the technology and the business expectation. So it's kind of providing the solution, but providing the solution that they want, similarly providing the solution that is feasible or possible. So it's
Okay.
both ways. So it's like a balance between what we can deliver as a product and what they want. So we have to
Okay.
meet this bridge, this gap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main thing what a BA is for, to understand the
Okay.
requirement, to understand their needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are going to understand the business requirements and you are going to
Yeah.
um, tell to all the developers.
Developers and the BA, as a BA, I also need to have the little bit of technical knowledge, not the coding
Oh, okay,
skills.
okay.
I don't have to do the coding, but I should know what my product is having limitations, what all is possible. It should not be like my product is capable of doing ABCD things and my expectation from the client is like XYZ. Then it's too much of work. It's not that we cannot develop, but that's not what my product is meant to be, or
Okay.
that is not how it is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to say no to the client or
Oh.
understand them properly,
Okay.
bridge this gap kind of thing.
Okay.
So that is the main thing.
So, what are the salaries for BAs?
So salary, if I have to talk about salaries, it's almost like I can say it's also domain specific and on your experience specific. So something that you need to have the knowledge of your domain that you're working on, as and when you have knowledge, depending on how niche the skill is, you will have good salaries. And it's all like same like technology. Like if you know something which others don't know, obviously you will be in demand and you will have good knowledge. And basically like it's more of developing the knowledge over a period of time. It's not like day one you will have all the domain knowledge and everything about that. You will keep growing it as you go ahead and you have good experience and all those things. So it all depends on your experience. So as a fresher, I can say that it's you are just you just need to have the skills of a business analyst to understand what a person is saying and to document it properly and to let others know, like let the QA or the dev team know about it. But other than that, it's more of as you grow, as you
Mhm.
grow. That's
Oh,
how
okay.
it is. Like as
Okay.
you grow, as you have experience, and so will your salary increase. Any other profession, it's same like that.
Oh, okay. So can you tell exact figures like how much as a fresher will get?
There's no exact figure if I have to say, but it all depends on what kind of domain you're choosing. Now I am into property and casualty insurance. This is a good domain in US market. So this is a good domain to choose from or to take. Banking is one of the good thing. But there is these domains are not like very small or something, you study one book and you'll be done. It's very huge domain. So by the time you have like 10 years of experience, you will have some knowledge in
Okay.
that. So it's like that.
Mm.
And within that also, within insurance, PNC insurance also, you will have many things, like many subdomains, you can
Mhm.
call it. So it's like that. So you specialize in one thing.
Okay.
So like PNC insurance will have like policy, billing and claims.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
So you specialize in either that policy, or you are
Okay.
a billing subject matter expert, or you become something in claims side. So it depends on these three. Within these three also there are a lot of subdomains and all. So it's all depends on how you're gathering that information and
Okay.
how you grow. So salary, if I have to give any figure, it can be the least possible also, it can be very high also.
Mhm.
So it all depends on, but one thing is sure that you have to have only analysis skill. Like BA means you have to have that analysis skill. You need to have that logic, or you have to understand what somebody is saying. So
Okay.
that kind of level of understanding you need to have.
Mhm.
That's the main thing.
Okay.
That's the key to succeed as a business analyst.
Mhm. So what subjects from your education actually help you to become like efficient at your work?
Uh, Frankly speaking, I did my master's in computer application. It's more of a technical work, but you know, somebody told me recently, one of my friend told me that you're one of the few lucky person who have not done any coding and still in IT for 11 years. So I can say that it's not the subject, it's about the analytic skill that you develop. So I have done all this technical subject like networking
Oh,
and
yeah,
computer
yeah,
science
computer
in
science, right? Yeah.
masters, during my masters, but it's
Like
not
all kind of
anything.
subjects you have like Java,
Java,
C,
C++,
data structures,
data
yeah.
structure, networking. I had all these subjects, but they are not like specifically I'm using them.
Hmm.
It's not specifically I'm using them. I am writing some SQL queries and I am writing it, but it's not a very complex I will write. I will write little bit of inner join, outer join, everything I will write, but it's not that I need to know it and everything. It's not that mandatory. So I can survive without knowing that as well. I can take that queries from a developer and just keep running it whenever I need it and all those things. So to answer your question, what subjects I took that are useful now, if I have to look back, there were nothing, no relation between the subjects that I took and what work I'm doing today. But it's not that they are totally waste and all. I will not say that. That gives you a perspective. That gives you an overview. So that is essential. Proper education in that field is essential, but that is not, if you don't have that, you will not be able to do this. It's not like that.
So can a non IT person or a person not related to any kind of computer science knowledge, are they going to become a BA?
Yes, they can. Simple answer is yes. So we have domain experts, like they are working for client and they don't know anything about technology. Anything about technology, they know how to operate a laptop and things like that, but they don't know anything about coding, per se. They don't know the products that we use. They don't have knowledge about that, and they are working as a subject matter experts. So they are product owners. They are subject matter experts of that because they know the business very well. So they are they are business analysts from a client side. So even they are like a business analyst, you can say, and they are having good knowledge of their domain and their what work they are doing. They don't know anything about IT, so they don't have that IT skills
Okay.
per se, but yeah, they are
They can be.
they can be a business analyst. And there have been many people who have been, you know, coming from vendor company, not the vendor company, the client company, and to our consulting side as a business analyst, because they have like 10 years of experience working on this you know, particular product, this particular line of business, and then they get that expertise here and they try to help us, being a BA, to implement the product.
Okay.
So yeah, this kind of thing is possible. So you can be a business analyst with no IT experience.
So, as a fresher, they want to become a BA. So, what kind of advice you give?
Um, Firstly, as I said, you know, certifications will help you. So focus on doing that. The second level of certification is try and see a domain which you will like and which is like, if you are targeting US market, whichever is in demand in US, and try and do certifications for that. Gain as much as knowledge as much possible in that, and then it's just that there is demand for you. Just do certification and you will understand how to get the requirements, what to ask, what is the method that you should be doing as a business analyst. And second is have domain knowledge. So domain knowledge, once you have, like
Okay.
you are done, you are good with that. Now you will have demand.
Okay. So, what do you like about your job?
I like firstly, I like my job. That is very important. Very few people like it, and I really like being a business analyst at the domain that I am and the company that I am. Everything I like about it. And other thing that I am into so-called IT industry, if I have to say that, without doing the coding, which is the fear of most of us, that you know, I have to know coding, I have to do coding. So I am surviving. This is what I like, that I don't have to code. I know I am good with the logic. I can tell you what to do, you know, what I need.
Okay.
But I don't want to sit and code,
Okay.
and I just am not good with that. So I like in my job that even though I don't have to do coding, I am into IT. So this is one thing I like about it.
Okay. So, do you ever feel pressure in your job?
Overall, there are like too much of pressure in the industry. That is for sure. It's not basically for a BA or a developer, or for
Any
a product,
kind.
any kind of profession you take, you have a pressure. But see, that kind of pressure will not be there for a business analyst. Like night 2 o'clock something breaks, and you know somebody's calling, and you know production support, something is breaking, and that kind of challenges you don't have as a business analyst. So nothing will happen like, you know, you're taking the requirement during the day, you're scheduling your meetings, you're scheduling your walkthrough. It will never happen like, you know, 2 o'clock somebody is calling you and telling that, you know, you have to take the requirement, or what is the requirement for this, and all those things. This will not happen like a production support developer or something like that. So that kind of life is not there. So that is little bit, you don't have that kind of pressure. But obviously you have your deadlines, you have to meet the deliverables, and you have to, you know, because you are the first step. After that a developer will come into picture, and after that QA will come into picture. So you have to be on time, and you will have that pressure, the most pressure, because the initial pressure will be there. And when you are at the pressure, developers and QA will be like chill. But when their turn will come, you will be like, okay, now I just have to be like giving clarifications and, you know, making them, if they, in case of any doubts and all. So yeah.
What kind of business analyst the team desires the most?
So this is very important question actually. So the better the business analyst performs his role, better it is for a developer or QA. So what actual their expectations are? Their expectations are always give us what exactly you want. Give us what field we should be developing, where we should be developing, what that value should be, what that data type will be. Will it be a drop down radio button? What functionality it will play? Give us all the details, whatever you want. And if we give all the details correctly, they will develop it correctly. So that is the key to success.
Yeah.
So we will give all the details. It's not a secret thing that we'll keep all the details, but we have to understand the requirement. We have to understand all the details. So, and document it. Documentation is very important. Documentation is very important because client can also tell something else afterward, and even developers, and this is a proof. Are leave it?
Why are you doing this?
So the documentation is very important for them. So a team need to have a good BA who is documenting it very thoroughly, very detailed level. So a good BA is the one who documents it properly, and there should not be any further clarification required. It should be like once you have a document, that's it. There should not be any need for you to go to a BA and ask, or to go to a client and ask what is this, how to do this. I have given a handoff to a developer and the QA, then that job is over if it is a good documentation. So that is very important role. So for a project to be very successful, this is very important.
Okay.
A good business analyst with good documentation. So this is very important. And then subsequent defects will come or not, that is another thing, but this is very important. So, and another role of a BA is also to you have given the requirements, your job is not done. Now they will develop. So as a business analyst, you will also review the code, not the coding. You will not review the coding, but you have given a requirement that there should be a login page. Then you will see whether there is a login page, whether you are able to log in with that. You will test it. So these kind of testing also as a business analyst you will do. So we are very much involved into UAT testing. User acceptance testing. So what is the role of a business analyst? You have given the requirements, so you know what the requirements are very well. Nobody knows it better than the business analyst. So when the development is done, obviously testing, QA will test the product for sure, but it will also come to you as a business analyst to check it before it is going to production or before it is going to live, because you know it, what you meant. Your language you know it better. So you will also be doing. So BA is also hugely involved into UAT kind of work.
Okay.
So that is also one more thing. Secondly, a BA is also involved into reviewing the test scenarios or the test cases, high level test scenarios at least of a QA. So what they will be testing, are you covering all the requirements? So they will see, are you covering all the requirements? To what level of details are you covering? So that kind of review also we'll be doing as a business analyst.
Okay. So how did you land into business analyst role?
For me, actually, when I was in Accenture, I got training as a business analyst. So we had, like I mentioned, we had this couple of days training and then certification.
So you joined as a fresher to Accenture?
I joined as a fresher, and then I told them that I have this aspiration to be a BA. And then there were some boot camps kind of, or trainings that were going on. So I enrolled in that, and they trained me, and we did some exams post that training. So the transition was that way. And if somebody who is not having that kind of transition or not possible, the best way is certifications. The workaround for this is certifications.
Okay. So Yuga, thank you so much for your valuable time with us. And so a lot of our subscribers are not interested in coding, so they got inspired with this video to get into IT. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Really nice, Rija. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm really happy, and it was wonderful giving this interview. And to all the viewers, if you have any questions or anything, happy to help, and we can have a follow-up session. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
open for that.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. So, if you like this video, please subscribe and share. So, if you have any questions, please do comment. Thank you.
Thank you.